Before you go into the details, let me quickly ask Senator Baribe to quickly respond to the issue of tardiness, which you seem to have raised with transmitting the amendment a little late to the president, leaving him very little time to respond to some of the amendments that had been made. Senator, please, would you kind of like to respond to that? Because he says that the manner you give the president notice, but you did not meet up the time for the notice that you had issued to the president.
No, there wasn't a notice. It was, they passed it on the 24th.
Yes.
But they did not forward it to the president until 3rd.
No, you talked about a letter having been written to the president on some of the issues that he had raised, and that the president was expecting the letter, but by the time the thing arrived...
No, not a letter.
It was a day or so.
The amendment was passed, not a letter. The amendment was passed, and that amendment was transmitted to the president on the 3rd of August, although it was passed on the 24th of July.
What then was supposed to have lapsed from your explanation?
Now, the letter, what would have lapsed is the letter of the president saying yes or no to the earlier than one that was passed to him on the 27th of June. If Mr. President did not reply on the 26th of July, it would have lapsed because the president, a president or a governor has 30 days within which to assent to a bill or to decline assent.
Do you want to quickly comment on that?
Do you really understand this whole thing? Because I'm looking at you.
Perhaps you do. You know, maybe
I'm looking at you. And
maybe you can help us.
I think for Nigerians,
yes,
they will be a little bit confused with what my very good friend and colleague is saying. The point is simple. When you have to look at matters of this nature, just look at the historical part of it. There was a bill, an amendment bill. That amendment bill was sent to Mr. President. And then Mr. President sent back the bill declining assent for one reason, or basically one reason, the fact of sequence of elections. Because that was the big problem.
The initial issue, yes.
Yeah, the initial issue. And when he now brought it back, in our own wisdom, we say, instead of getting into another fight, don't forget also that at that same time, people had gone to court and said, we didn't have the power to set it up, that it was simply the INEC that had that power. So we now said, okay, we remove every aspect concerning the sequence and all that, and return the bill to Mr. President. The effect being that what you are concerned with, we have removed it. And now the bill goes back, and it comes back to us now, saying, like my very good friend has said, there are impurities.
Drafting issues.
drafting issues.
Sorry.
Manners of that nature.
I said in my words, please.
Yeah, drafting issues. In your own word. Well, it's the same thing, you know, drafting issues and all that. Which everybody is worried about today. The question of it was sent on this date, it wasn't sent on that date and all that. I think we should let Nigerians know those are the basic issues. Now, one, we don't have a problem with the president saying, I don't agree with it. That is his prerogative. He brings it back to us. Our job is to say, okay, those areas that you do not, or you have objected to, well, if it's an impurity, we clean it up. The law, as it is today, does not have any time stipulation. I think this time stipulation is about 30 days to election. We can still pass a law to that INEC must use. The essence of this whole thing that we did dates back to the last election. In the last election, the courts held that the use of electronic card readers, matters of that nature, is not in the law. You understand? And because it's not in the law, that what we need to do is we try to make sure we put it in our own speculation is that there is an attempt not to ensure that it's in the law. Because we are trying to correct a huge thing that was pointed out by the Supreme Court. Now, I make also another speculation. When we clean this up and send it back, you will also find that another reason will be found not to sign this bill.
Senator, if that is the case, certainly time will bear that out. But let's get to, aside from the speculation, into kind of the facts of what is being raised here. One of the major ones, of course, is that there was an introduction of a new section, which is, of course, Section 87, I believe it's subsection 4, which stipulates the time frame within which political parties must, report certain details regarding their primary...
There wasn't... what was done was that it was moved from 90 days
to 60 days. I'm going there. I want to be very precise in what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's a new stipulation, which is 87.4. Now, if that is put into the bill without now amending sections 31, 34, and I believe 85, I believe it is, then what you now have is a kind of
9 days.
Yes, you have a 9-day window because it went from 120 down to 30, down to 21, which of course leaves just 9 days for INEC to compile all the names from the political parties and essentially run with the primaries within 9 days.
Just a minute.
Is that not a legitimate cause for concern from the president?
It is not. And I will tell you why it's not. Because we sit here and we act as if we are living in the Stone Ages. INEC gives every party a template. That template is in a soft copy of whatever the parties submit. Now, INEC designs that template, gives it to them. So every party, when they are returning their candidates and everything to INEC, all that INEC does is to take that template, put it in their computers, and you will get everything. So when they now talk about 9 days, this and that, it's not true. They're not working for INEC. INEC itself has not said that they cannot do it. In fact, it is instantaneous, because once you put it in, it's right there. If you go and take your money from the ATM right now, you still get back your balance. And so when we come up and come with all these things, we know where they are going. Where they are going is simple. They don't want card readers to be used in this coming election. And I tell you the reason. If you go to INEC today and ask INEC, what did the card readers say for the Kano election? You will find that it's not up to 900,000. Yet, what was returned in Kano was 1.9 million votes. That is what we want to clean up. We don't want anybody who will win election by means that are not electronic, as we have said, because the electronic helps everybody.